Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Sport for our preview for UFC 271, Adesanya versus Whittaker 2. I am joined this evening by Callum from Coppish and Sanderson's show. How are you, my dear friend?
Very good, bro. How are you, man?
Hey, I've been having a good day today. Good evening. Good evening. I've been watching some football tonight. You know, I'm having a
Wreck-It
great
Ralph.
evening.
Wreck-It
Big
Ralph.
round, big Frankie Lamps. And then balling.
What a night.
But shifting back to the UFC, we've got a monster card this week, headlined by probably the matchup we've all wanted to see this year: Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker 2 in Houston, Texas. That's gonna be an absolute mega fight. So, Callum, your quick words on that fight before we go to the bottom of the main card.
I think it shows a lot from both fighters that they're doing this fight again, because again, we see a lot of times champions get the belt, lose the belt, and kind of fizzle off. Whittaker has dusted himself off, reinvented himself to an extent, and gone on a tear to a point where he's become undeniable to actually getting a title shot. And Izzy. Obviously, he went up to 205, didn't quite work out, but he again showed his mettle, showed his grit, and he's come through and he's defended his title. And we're here now for another, in my opinion, what will be an epic rematch.
Yeah, absolutely. Like my quick thoughts is like this is the rematch that I want to see. Like I think this shows the best of combat sports. You get champion and rightfully so number one contender. It's not like boxing when you get a champion, but you know who ain't the real champ. The real champ's over there, and there's belts flying around. There's mandatory challenges flying around everywhere, but this is where the UFC is truly at the top of its game, making champions and number one contenders square off. But before we get into detail into the main event, let's go down to the beginning of the main card. Bobby Green versus Nasrat Haqparast. I think I've said it right. I think I might have butchered Nasrat's name. Bobby Green, last win, knocked out Al Quinter. I think it was like the first round.
Yeah, first round.
And Nasrat had I think he was on the same card, or maybe the card before, but he lost to Dan Hooker.
Yeah,
via decision. So how do you think that fight's going to go?
So what's interesting is they're both stand-up fighters, but in the fight that Hooker beat Nasrat in, Hooker utilized his wrestling and his grappling. Now, Bobby Green is more than willing and able to grapple, but he loves a tear-up. That's always how he's lived. He loves a tear-up. And I'll be honest, he's one of the few MMA fighters that uses sort of pure boxing technique and is able to utilize it really well. I'm a big fan of Bobby Green. When I first saw him and watched him in the UFC, I wasn't a fan. The more I watch him, the more I listen to him speak and everything, I'm a big fan of him. This is a tough fight though, because Nasrat carries a lot of power, but I think if anyone can deal with that and nullify him, it is Bobby Green. So that being said, I think I'm going to go for a Bobby Green win, but that may be me going a bit more with my heart than my head, but I think he can do it.
Yeah, I think I saw the Bobby Green win over Al Quinter. I thought that he was great. I think the first fight I actually saw of him was his loss to Thiago Moises, and like looking at the people who he's lost to, they're not exactly like mugs. He's lost to, like the creme de la creme. He lost to Rafael Viziz.
Yeah, that was a close fight though.
Close fight. He lost to, I think, out of his 12 losses, 8 of them have become by decisions. 2 by submission, 2 by knockout. So he doesn't tend to get finished. Lost to Francesco Trinaldo. Decision. He lost to Dustin Poirier, got knocked out Lost to Edge and
Fought silly in
Barbosa.
that fight.
Pardon?
He fought really silly in that fight, and then
Yeah.
ended up getting caught a few times.
Yeah, so I think he lost to Tim Memes as well. KO retirement. Yeah, so like he lost to, you'd say is the creme de la creme in that division.
Yeah.
Nasrat was a great fighter. I think his losses have come by decision, two by decision, one by submission, one by KO. He's just coming off a loss of Dan Hooker, and he lost to Drew Dober as well, who's ranked.
Drew
I
must be
think
about
he
14th, 15th, right?
I think Nasrat's just, I think he's hovering just outside of the
Okay.
top 15, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know whether or not he's hovering outside them or not he's just in the top 15. But hey, if Bobby Green picks up this win, then it puts himself into the top 15. And I think Bobby Green is going to win this fight. I think it's going to be an absolute. I think it's got potential to be. No, it's not got potential to be fight of the night because there's other fights that have definitely got more potential. But
Yeah,
I do feel.
I agree. Whoever gets fight of the night on this one, we could be talking about an all-time great fight.
Yeah, absolutely. The next fight on this card at bantamweight, Kyler Phillips versus Marcelo Rojo. Kyler Phillips coming off a loss, and Marcelo Rojo coming off a loss. So massive fight for both men to get back into winning ways.
Yeah, I'm going to do a Michael Owen quote. Both of these guys need a win. Again, this is one of those fights. We've seen it quite a lot, obviously, especially since we've been working together. There's always that one fight on the card where there's I don't want to say two unknown fighters, but two lesser known fighters to kind of give them that shine. And I think it's actually smart booking from the UFC because you put a fight like that in, then you can potentially make new stars.
Yeah.
The problem for us as content creators is that we don't know much about them before the event. From what I've seen, if I'm not mistaken, Rojo does throw quite a lot of spinning techniques and is quite exciting to watch. Phillips, again, he can be exciting as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Phillips is a little bit more of a grappler than Rojo. But by many sort of experts in the field and people who have actually watched quite a few of their fights, a lot of people are saying this is a fight that could potentially steal the show to an extent and really open the eyes up to these two fighters. Based on the limited knowledge I have, I'm going to go Rojo, but I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being a really good fight.
Yeah, I think I'm similar to you. I've not seen much of both men. I've probably seen more of Kyler Phillips than I have with Marcelo Rojo. I think the fight I won, the fight I saw him was on the Blachowicz Adesanya card against Song Yadong, where he won by unanimous decision. And I thought he looked really good because coming into that fight, it was Song Yadong that was meant to be the rising star, beat Kyler Phillips, gets into the top 15. So it was a big statement for him. Obviously coming off a loss against Pavia, who just got knocked out by Sugar Sean O'Malley. So as you rightly said, the Michael Owen expression, both need a win. Both need a win. But I'm going with Kyler Phillips.
Okay.
So to pick up the W. I think he's going to win by decision. I do agree with you. This is smart by the UFC. It's a great opportunity to make another big star. Just trying to think on the last card. I think there was Michel Pereira and I'm trying to think of the other guy.
Oh, I can't remember the name. Fiallo.
Yeah, Fiallo made a star there in Fiallo, even though that he lost.
That was a hell of a fight.
Yeah, he had some chin.
Yeah, that was a hell of a fight.
Some chin and lucky not to get finished in that fight, to be honest. So moving on to the middleweight, clash next. Jared Cannonier versus Derek Brunson. Both men coming in great form. Brunson, I think he's on 5 on the bounce since his loss to Adesanya. think Cannonier's been on a good run. Lost to Whittaker last time out on Fight Island. No shame in that, because apart from Adesanya, Whittaker's pretty much beaten everyone in the division.
Yeah.
But with the main event being for the middleweight title, this is the perfect opportunity for either men to, if they put on a big performance, can put their hand up going, yeah, I'll have the next title shot, please.
Agreed. Again, smart booking from the UFC. This has got massive title implications on this fight, especially given that Sean Strickland and Hermansson didn't really entertain like many people thought it could.
I didn't even stay up for that, and
yeah,
I not even watched the highlights because I've just said it was a ball fest.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched the full fight, and Strickland pretty much won the fight just using his jab. Even he said the pressure got to him and he could have done a bit more. So I think that kind of says it all. But this is a massive opportunity for both of these guys. And if you remember, Izzy's really been campaigning for that Cannonier fight. He's really wanted Cannonier to win. He's wanted Cannonier and Till to win, and not because he's frightened of the others. He's beaten the others. He says he wants to beat everyone in the division, and
he wants
those are two of the main guys.
He wants a fresh opponent.
He does. He wants fresh meat. Cannonier could literally book himself a title shot by winning this fight. Brunson, it'll be a harder sell, but you kind of have to. 6 fights in a row, and you'd have beaten Cannonier, who is probably top 3, top 4.
I think he's ranked number 3. I think. No, hold on. I think he's ranked 3 or 4.
And then the thing, obviously, Izzy's beat Costa. If he defends his title against Whittaker, he'd have beaten Whittaker, because that wipes those two out straight away. Costa will lost his last fight against Vettori. Izzy's beaten Vettori twice. Cannonier or Brunson, whoever wins this fight gets the next title shot, unless there's something crazy in the title fight, obviously.
Yeah.
But in terms of who wins, it's a really tough fight to call, because if Cannonier can keep the fight standing, I think he knocks Brunson out, because he's got stupid power. And when he hits you, I mean, we saw him kick Anderson Silva, and Anderson Silva just collapsed from the kick. We've seen him stop like Hermansson, and so we know about his power. But Brunson is that wrestler that can grind you down, and we saw that, especially in the Till fight. He almost broke Till's will. We saw that before, because that last round before the fight was stopped, Till was actually starting to get off his momentum and starting to let loose. And the moment he got taken down, you just saw his will break, and then took his back and subbed him. And if Brunson's able to do that, it'll be interesting. The only thing is, Brunson's been fighting main event fights the last few times. So those Vegas are 5-rounders. Yeah, those are 5-rounders in Vegas, as you said. This is a 3-rounder. So it's going to be really interesting to see if he can actually implement that style on someone and break someone within 3 rounds. But I'm actually going to go Cannonier. I think Cannonier gets the stoppage in the second.
Ooh. Well, yeah, I think with this fight, I'm just looking at both gentlemen's record, and I'll start with Brunson. He's on a 5-fight win streak. It's beat Edmund Shabazian, Kevin Holland, Darren Till, Ian Heinisch, and then Laris Thedral. I think that's how he's saying the name. But if you look at his losses, they have been, I think he's lost to Yoel Romero, Ronaldo Souza twice, but that was in Strikeforce. But I think in the UFC, he's lost to Yoel Romero by TKO, lost to Robert Whittaker by TKO, lost to Anderson Silva. I think that was Anderson Silva's last win in the UFC.
Yeah, I think he actually beat Anderson in that fight as well, if I'm going to be honest.
Obviously got knocked down by Israel Adesanya, but I think since he's moved to Stanford MMA, he's gone back to his roots, back to the wrestling roots. Yeah, and I think, and plus he's dyed his hair blonde, so you know.
So who's he beating in that run? He's beating Shabazian,
Kevin Holland, Darren Till, Ian Heinisch, and Elias Thedrew. I don't know if I've said that right. I'm on the Sherdog.
Oh, I know him. He was a guy with long hair, really unorthodox. UFC cut him, and he didn't even have a bad record. He was terrible to watch, though.
Yeah. beaten by decision. But it like when you look at the wins, it's like he's not fought anyone that's had like a really decent grappling background. Like
Yeah.
Shabazian stand up,
Yeah.
Holland had pretty much
Stand up.
no stand up game
Yeah.
whatsoever, even though he tapped out that troll on Twitter, which was
That
hilarious to see.
brilliant. Brilliant.
And then Darren Till isn't known to
For
have
his grappling.
elite grappling, even though that he trains with Tom Aspinall. So he's not really fought a grappler. But with Jared Cannonier, like he's had similar issues. Like he lost to Robert Whittaker by decision. Probably should have been finished in that fight.
Yeah.
He's lost to Dominic Reyes by TKO. Lost to Jan Blachowicz.
This was up a light heavy though.
Yeah, because he's got a habit. He's gone from
He's
from
gone from
heavyweight
heavyweight.
to
Yeah.
light heavyweight to middleweight, and I think at middleweight he's had his best work. I think he's won 3 and no, he's won 4 and lost 1. He only won to Robert Whittaker. But I do feel like a big performance by either men. It's like title shot, please. And I think I was thinking about disagreeing with you because I feel like with Brunson, like he's got 1 shot left. If he loses this, forget your title shot because you're not going to get it. And I was thinking maybe that might just be enough to just get him over the edge. But you think of Jared Cannonier, he's only a year younger at 37, so he's not got that much time left at the elite level. So I'm going to say Jared Cannonier by finish in the 3rd round. If he can survive the takedowns and stay on his feet, he's got the power to knock anyone out. In that division. But moving on to the co-main event, speaking about knockout power, we have Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa. 2 knockout artists, 2 people that don't like a boring fight. So surely this is going the distance then.
Bro, I'll be honest with you. These are probably 2 of my favorite fighters.
Yeah.
When I heard this fight got made, I was just like, no, not these 2. Like Tuivasa's got to be one of the most fun, lovable characters in the UFC, and same with Derek.
It's called Shuey.
Vasa. Yeah, Shuey Vasa. And then obviously Derek is Derek. Like we all love Derek. So it's like when I saw them fighting each other, I was like, oh no. But I'll be honest, and I know this might throw the cat amongst the pigeons, and I don't even want to predict this because if I want someone to win it, it's probably Derek. I see Ty getting the win here.
I think we have to disagree.
I don't even argue if you are going to disagree. I know many people have Lewis as the favorite. I just think Tuivasa, even though Lewis for me is more powerful, I think Tuivasa's got the quicker hands. And Tuivasa is really good at chopping people's legs as well. And I think he will do that to Derek Lewis. I think he's going to go in there, kick heavy, and then catch him. And I think he's going to stop Derek. And I think he's going to catapult him into title contention.
Right. So I think Derek Lewis is going to win by knockout. Only because, right, I think shout out to the Fight Disciples, Adam Cattrall, Nick P, great podcast. Love listening to them. And they were saying that Tai Tuivasa had an interview and he said he'd rather get knocked out than win on points. Because that already sets out his stall. He's going to go for broke. He's going to go hell for leather. And I think that's just going to play into Derek Lewis's hands. Really.
I think that's a bit of mind games.
Yeah. I think it's in Houston, Texas. I know he said that he had problems with the crowd last time. He struggled with that, with the occasion for fighting for gold against Cyril Gane. It's 3 rounds, not 5, which I think massively benefits Derek for the cardio. Yeah. And we know most knockouts in UFC history takes 1 shot. That's all it takes. It doesn't even take a proper shot. It takes half a hit.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
And then it's good night Vienna. But I don't know. I can see why you'd go with Tai to Ivasa. Like I find him hilarious coming out to Barbie Girl and stuff like that.
Well, he
Being
said,
shameless.
have you heard that he said he accepted the fight while he was drunk?
Yeah.
Like the guy's
Oh,
crazy. He's crazy, but he's also such a likable guy. Like, and he's
yeah.
very respectful. Like the build up as far as from what I've seen so far has been extremely respectful.
Oh yeah.
Both of them like each other. I do think at the weigh-ins, Derek will try and impose
Oh
his
yeah.
will on him a little bit and try and bully him a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think it will phase Ty. I'm looking forward to this fight,
Oh yeah, definitely.
like a
Oh,
lot. But at the
100%.
same time, I'm gonna be watching it like that because I like they're two of my favorite fighters because of their personality.
Yeah, I think Tai to Ivasa became my favorite when he absolutely knocked out Greg Hardy. So
Yeah,
instantly
that
number one
that
in
was
my
a
book.
battering. That
That's
knockout was
and he nearly got
crazy.
finished as well. And the fact that he went around and finished him was
Yeah,
chef's
he's
kiss.
crazy. He's brilliant.
Chef's kiss. But that's like that's like the starter, the main course, the main event of the evening. Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whittaker 2. This
I
has
keep
got
on
fight
flip
of the
flopping.
year written all over it.
I keep on flip flopping with this one.
This is the toughest fight to call on the card.
Yeah, I
Toughest.
think everyone looks at the first fight and thinks, yeah, he's got this easy. Whitaker's not that guy. Like, this is going to be such a different fight.
The thing is, yeah, his coaches and Izzy have gone, yeah, not impressed with Rob. And I'm thinking, damn, you don't want to be
Yeah, I
saying that.
mean, I've been very impressed by Whitaker. Like, he's been a savage, but he's been a calculated savage,
Just
and
being patient.
he tried to go in there and be Kelvin Gastelum, and Izzy saw it from a mile away and just destroyed him, pieced him up. Whitaker's not going to do that, and a lot will come down to whether Whitaker's going to employ a grappling
Heavy
style
game.
match. If he does that, Izzy's in trouble, in my opinion, because Whitaker's very good on the ground. We saw him against Yoel Romero, and he was able to control Yoel Romero, and that's no easy thing to do. But at the same time, Izzy's distance control, his punching accuracy, his kicking accuracy, his takedown defense is getting better, as we saw against Vettori. His jiu-jitsu is getting better, as we saw against Vettori.
I have to say, in that Vettori fight, right, I thought I did a watch song for that. I nearly fell asleep in the main event.
Yeah,
I thought
that was a
Vettori
tough
was
one.
dog. I thought he was awful. So I don't really take any stock with that. If after that light heavyweight loss, that was probably the easiest fight for him to walk back into. I thought Vettori offered nout.
Yeah, well, he even said in
Izzy
that
was
fight,
pinching his backside was like, yeah, he know he ain't serious.
yeah. Well, he even said during the fight, one of his coaches had to scream at him to say, "Don't lose focus," because he said he was getting bored in there.
Yeah.
He won't have that problem on. He
I
won't
don't
have
think
that
he's going
problem
to
at
be
UFC
bored.
271.
I
He will
think
not get bored against Whittaker in there.
no, I think he will crave this. I think he needs this challenge because when you look at the rest of the middleweights, it's like nothing's exciting. Like after Whittaker, is it Brunson? Is it Cannonier? Costa? Do you want to run Costa back? No. I don't want to see Costa.
Well, Costas needs to get a couple of wins under his
Costa
belt
wants to
before he
fight
can even come back.
Vettori. Like if Vettori wants another crack, I'm like, mate, no, stay away from the title, my friend.
Yeah,
it's like there's nothing exciting. He's gonna do an Usman. He's just gonna lap.
Well, this is the first fight to lap, isn't it? I mean, he lapped Vettori, but that wasn't obviously for the title the first time.
I was shocked when that fight was made. I was like, oh, Dana, I don't want to see that fight.
Same. But think about it, though, bro. You're right. If he beats Whittaker, he'd have lapped Whittaker. He's lapped Vettori. If Brunson gets the win against Cannonier, he'd lap Brunson. Then are you just going to start giving it to random people? Because Costa's got to win about 2 or 3 before he even gets a shout or a sniff at the title again.
When you look at the rankings, what you're going to give Sean Strickland? I was like, mate,
I think he destroys Sean. I mean, let's be honest. The fight we all want is Till versus Adesanya
Oh no
because
no
we
no
know it's
no
going to
no
be a
no
stand-up fight. But Till's got to get on a winning run himself, and he's got to show that he's the Till that was hyped up. And I
no
don't know
no
if
no
he's
no
capable.
no. There's one fight I want to see. There's one
Hamzat.
fight. We need to see Usman go. We need to see him go up because
They won't do it.
I don't care. Ali Abdelaziz is like, he's not his brother. Like, Usman's
He won't do
getting
it.
bored down here, lapping people. He wants to bounce before Hamzat's going, I smash you, brother. He wants to bounce.
They won't do
Right?
it.
And they're not brothers. And if the UFC put the money on the table, Usman and Adesanya have both said, you put enough money on the table and we'll go compete.
I don't see them doing it.
It's for legacy.
No,
For
I
legacy.
get that. I just don't see it happening, though. I don't see it happening between them.
I feel like it needs to happen. I think
The thing is, if that happens, that'd be a fantastic fight.
It's like, I'm just looking at the top 10, right? For like the middleweights. Whittaker's number 1.
Yeah.
Tory, Cannonier, Brunson, Costa, Strickland, Manson, Uriah Hall, Kelvin Gastelum.
Is Till not top 10?
Till's 8.
Jeez.
And I'm like, you look at the top 15. Chris Weidman's 15, Kevin Holland, Andre Munoz, Nasruddin Imanov, Brad Tavares.
It's a light division, isn't it? It is a light division at the moment.
It's just...
But that's because Izzy's kind of cleared up, though. And the other
There's one guy in this division. Alex Pereira.
That's the one.
Hold
on, is he on this card as well? In the prelims?
Do you know what? I'm gonna go and check. I'm gonna go and check because, not gonna lie, that prelims.
No, he's not. It's Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah.
It's Alex Perez in the prelims. I thought I misread that.
Yeah, I think Pereira's getting Bruno Silva, which is like another knockout artist, and the UFC are going to give him nice fights to make him look really, really good. Like, they're going to avoid all the grapplers, and they're going to go, hey, you want a challenge?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your challenge. But I think for that fight, I think you've seen with Blachowicz' blueprint, there might be a little blueprint. Just tire him out a little bit. Take it to the ground.
And then go from there.
I feel like with Adesanya, with that one, I felt like he didn't take it as seriously as he could have done. He didn't. I know he dared to be great, but I felt like that you really underestimated him. He really underestimated him.
I think a lot of people have been guilty. I think Jimmy Manuwa underestimated Yan. I think Dominic Reyes did. The only person who hasn't is Glover, and Glover dealt with him pretty handedly.
Glover did the tap up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Mayweather says.
I'm gonna go Izzy. I'm gonna go Izzy by decision though.
I'm gonna go Izzy by split decision. I think it's gonna be a 3-2 either way. I can imagine the 5th round being like Adesanya Gastelum.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Both 2-2, both need to win. To win fight of the year, hands down.
The thing is, Gastelum, as great as he is, as much heart as he's got, he's not Whittaker. Whittaker can dig in and still produce quality in that 5th round, and we've seen Adesanya could do it.
He's gone with Yoel twice.
Yeah,
he's done Yoel twice in a row.
Yeah, even though the second time I think Yoel beat him.
Yeah, and that's when Whittaker was at a time when he had like bowel problems.
Yeah,
stuff going on with, I think one of his daughters needed the was it a kidney or something like that.
Well, even in the first fight, in the first couple of minutes, did his knee as well.
Yeah.
Like, the guy is a warrior. He's an absolute warrior.
This guy's built different.
To beat him, you've got to... I mean, I'm trying to think of how many people have decisioned Whittaker.
You know what?
Like, you literally got
to have a look, because he's lost a few. Because he's lost some.
I know he lost a couple of welter. If I'm mistaken, he's only lost one at middle, right?
Let's have a look at the Sherzog. The Reaper, Bobby Knuckles. Lost 2 decision. Been knocked out twice and tapped out once.
I'm guessing that was early in his career, though, right?
Lost to Adesanya, KO. Lost to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, KO. That was at welterweight. Lost to Court McGee, decision split. Court McGee's a warrior.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Lost to Yessi, but this was in Cage Fighting Championship. Yessi Juarez decision. I think like his first loss was Hoon Kim at Legend FC submission triangle choke. So
I mean, and remember, we must be speaking about Rob in his early 20s.
like that was like he lost in 2011, so that was like 11 years ago. So he must have been early 20s, like 21.
He's 31, so in 2011 he would have been 20.
It's just built different.
And he's just turned 31. He turned 31 in December.
Do you know what? If Whittaker did hold the belt again, and Izzy decided to bounce from that division, then Usman was like, "Hello, Bobby Knuckles versus Kamaru Usman. Take my money,
Well,
please."
I think there's more chance of that happening. I think if Whittaker beats him decisively, then I
think we'll get a rubber match. I think we get the trilogy. If Whittaker wins and Cannonier Brunson's is a bit of a sleep fest, trilogy's getting booked. Trilogy's getting booked for New Zealand.
Oh no, Izzy said he's not fighting in New Zealand because of the politics around how it's been with like Hooker and stuff. So he said that's definitely not going to happen. He said he would rather fight in Australia. He said he's absolutely not fighting in New Zealand.
Well, apparently Amanda Nunes injured both knees in the Juliana Pena fight. I think you're more suffering. Nunes said that she injured both knees. I was like,
I have to tell you, those things are a pinch of salt until we see the rematch.
Yeah, a little bit pinch of salt. It's like she didn't do it in Ngannou. She wasn't wearing the knee things. So yeah, so we're both going Adesanya by decision.
Yeah, I think so. Even though Whittaker, it looks like to beat him, you've got to put him out. Well, this now version of Whittaker, but I think this is going to go all the way.
I was just trying to think. I was just trying to think of a movie quote like, "It's gonna have to kill me." You're gonna have to like, you're literally gonna have to.
Well, that is Whittaker's mentality, though. That's both. To be fair, that's both of theirs. Because even in the Gaston fight, Izzy looked over and said, "I'm ready to die." Like, I'm not. Like, that's why you're a fighter and I'm not.
That's why I'm watching it from here.
Yeah, exactly.
You're in the cage.
That's crazy. Crazy.
Amazing.
But this card should be excellent. Really looking forward to it. It's going to be
up there if it delivers.
Yes.
Because if a main event delivers, doesn't really matter what happens on the rest of the cards because the main event really stands it out. That's what. So I really think this is going to be one of the cards of the year. One of the cards of the year.
I think we could see 2 potential contenders for fight of the year in the co and the main event.
I think we'll get moment of the year in the co-main.
Could do, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't think we'll get fight of the year. I don't think we're going to get a technical, like counter punching. I think we're just going to see, meet in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. And who lands first gets the win usually.
Yeah. Well,
looking forward to it.
Well, that's our preview for UFC 271. A massive thank you to Callum for joining me.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me as always, bro.
No problem, mate. No problem. Make sure you check out the Sanderson show. Link will be in the description. We need to get him to 1,000 subs. We need to get him there. Because as soon as he hits 1,000 subs, his channel goes in the title, not the description. He gets upgraded, baby.
Yeah,
gets
it's true.
upgraded to the title.
Facts.
Make sure to follow him on Twitter. Follow Coppish as well for all the
Thank you.
great Liverpool content as well. And trying to think when's our next watch along. We'll be doing more content this weekend.
Yeah.
I think coming up on our channel. Hopefully, we'll have hopefully me and Callum will be doing a UFC watch along. But we'll have to confirm that. We'll have to confirm that
Close to the
Callum's
time.
just got to be nice and the missus.
Yeah. If we don't do a watch along, then we'll definitely do a post show or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If we don't do one on the Sanderson show, I might do one on Let's Talk Sport on my own, because that's going to
Well,
be
if you
so
do that, let me
fun.
know and I'll share the links around and everything. So let me
Yeah.
know. Well, obviously I've got to let you know first, but
Yeah.
either way, I'll
Yeah.
share it around.
Thanks for all for tuning in, and we'll see you all very soon.
Take care.